UCLA is a university with unlimited possibilities for students that desire world-class academics and research, unmatched diversity, incredible cultural and social opportunities, successful alumni and career networking, first-class campus facilities, plus America's top intercollegiate sports teams. Located in Westwood, just a few miles from the Pacific Ocean, UCLA's 1 square mile campus is surrounded by famous cities such as Bel Air, Beverly Hills, Brentwood, and Santa Monica.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Westwood for a very special edition of UCLA Bruin Talk. We're going to get a chance to talk today with a couple of programs about which there is a great buzz on campus. Alongside Allison Taylor, I'm Dave Marcus. Thanks for joining us.
Before we meet our first guests, let's take a look at the upcoming events.
UCLA women's basketball is a program on the rise. After an injury-plagued season last year, the Bruins have a deep, talented team this year, and their energetic coaching staff hits their second year running. We're very pleased to be joined by senior center Alyssia Brewer and head coach Cori. Coach, welcome to Bruin Talk.
Thanks for having us. We're excited to be here and excited about the upcoming season.
Yeah, we talked about excitement. You can just feel it. This team has a lot of talent on it. Last year was tough with all the injuries. It's got to be great for you to have so many options to go to.
Oh, it is great. We have a great versatility, and as I met with players throughout the spring and summer, you could see in their eyes that they had a sense that we could have a special season. And, you know, it's going to be a lot of hard choices in the day-to-day to choose, you know, really working hard and improving even when it seems like it's difficult to do. But there is incredible potential on this team, and we're excited to see it unfold.
Alyssia, at the University of Tennessee, you were the 6th player of the year in the SEC. You were the SEC tournament MVP in 2010. Now you're at UCLA having transferred. You had to sit out last year. That had to be tough.
It definitely was tough. I've never, you know, had to do anything like that, but I thought it was a good experience for me to be able to see it from another side.
Well, I was amazed last year talking to Coach Close and hearing her comments about your leadership role last year. It's tough for a player who's not on the court to be a leader. What is it that caused you to step up and be such a leader on the team last year?
I don't know. It was definitely different, you know, being a leader and not playing. But like I said, getting it from a different perspective was for me to be able to gain different aspects of being a leader. And I think having my team being able to trust me while I'm not on the court was a pretty big deal.
Dave alluded to the fact, Alyssia, that you were at Tennessee for 3 years. You're a native of Oklahoma, excuse me. I'm a native of Texas. I was getting ahead of myself. We're kind of friends, kind of enemies, but it's okay. What was appealing to you about Westwood? What made you decide to pick up and come to UCLA for that last year of eligibility?
I've always loved the LA area. I played out here in high school for a travel team, so I think it was just kind of like a second home to me already, so it fit perfectly.
Coach, UCLA has had strong inside play in the past with Jasmine Dixon, Atonia Yingafo, but a true post presence really hasn't been a feature of the Bruin offense. Now you've got one, somebody who can work with back to the basket, score with both hands. What versatility to have Alyssia in the middle.
Well, you know, really our offense is designed to go through Alyssia, and you know she's her versatility, as you've referred to, is excellent. But you know she can score, but she's a great passer. She understands that when she's doubled, she has a feel around the basket. I remember when I was watching film of her before she had committed to come out here as a transfer, I was seeing just her feel for the basket, but also feel for cutters and the people around her. And so I think her, you know, her potential to impact the game and to be the centerpiece to build around is limitless.
We mentioned it's the second year for you and your coaching staff. You learned a lot, I'm sure, last year, and there was some adversity, but I think that the team proved their resilience. I think you as a staff proved your resilience. How did last year's trouble help forge a strong team this year?
Well, I think a couple of different ways. You know, we actually, with our director of mental training yesterday, we were talking with him about there's only one way to gain strength, and that's through resistance. And, you know, when anytime you do weight training, you got to break the muscles down before they build back to new levels. And that's how I sort of view last year. I mean, there was some character building that I'm not sure ever would have taken place without that resistance that we had to fight through. And so I think we're at a different springboard point going into this season. So was it easy? No. Was it frustrating? Absolutely. But now I also think it's developed a hunger in us and a strength of character that I think will bode well for us this coming season.
Alyssia, your first action in a Bruin uniform came in an exhibition game. You had 17 points in 18 minutes. Just tell us about the joy of actually getting to participate in a game.
It felt good being able to put on a jersey since last March, and I think that it was a great thing for our team because that was our first time to play together with the team that we have now, and I think everybody really enjoyed themselves.
Coach Close, it's very well known that you had such a fantastic relationship with Coach Wooden. With Poly being under renovation last year, you didn't get to play on the Nell and John Wooden court, but this year you will. What does that mean to you to be able to step foot out onto that court as a head coach of the UCLA Bruins, knowing that Coach Wooden is up there watching down?
Well, you know, I was thinking the whole time, you know, because obviously our gymnastics coach, Coach Fields, is well known also to have loved Coach Wooden. And as we had the gala to really open up Polly and her incredible choreography, the whole time I kept smiling, knowing Coach Wooden is so proud of her. And if I could walk onto that court and sort of have that inner joy going, you know, if I could represent just a small piece of all that he poured into me and taught me, I hope I could make him smile as well. You know, it's humbling. The great thing that Coach Wooden taught me is that I can't try to be him. I have to coach to be principled centered, but within my own personality. And so there's freedom in that. But I would not be telling you the truth if I didn't feel a great responsibility. And it's a joy to have that responsibility, but to represent the legacy of what he stood for, but also all the hours he poured into me. And I really desire to represent him well and to build our program to a level that not only in our championship quest, but in the character of our team and the way we represent this university points back to his influence.
Coach, you've spoken a lot about the need to prepare for every day. Game day, practice day, any day in your life. Prepare for it and get better and grow every time. The Bruins' schedule starts off real difficult this year. San Diego State opener, then on the road to Oklahoma, then a huge game with Notre Dame the day after Thanksgiving, a team that's been in the championship game the last 2 years. And then Princeton, a really good team. How has this tough schedule, how will this prepare the Bruins for success in the future?
Well, I think that, you know, a lot of times when you sort of have this big warm-up time, the off-season is long, and it's hard to have players really see and visualize the competition. But when you open up out of the gates with the level of opponent that we have, I think there's, you know, no time to waste. It helps me. You know, yesterday when we were running hard sprints in practice, I was saying to our team, you know, what's it going to be like for you opening night, you know, or what's it going to be like for you at Oklahoma? What's it going to be like for you against Notre Dame in front of a packed house, trying to visualize and bring urgency to the possessions. But we don't really talk about the wins and losses. We set goals at the beginning of the year, but then after that, it's all about process. It's all about, you know, and actually Alyssia said it in our team meeting, it's about making radical changes and committing to improving every day, to having a growth mindset and to control our attitude and effort, which is all we can control. And so the more we can stay focused on that, I really think the level of competition will take care of itself. That's not an easy thing to do, but we really need to stay focused on the day-to-day, the small, hard decisions that lead to bigger results and, as we say, uncommon results.
Alyssia, a couple of years ago, before you were at UCLA, the Bruins played Notre Dame in South Bend and won a thriller in double overtime. I was listening to a tape of that game. That's how I get ready for the season. And a couple of the key rebounds in that game were by Mariah Williams, the smallest player on the floor, 5'4". She had 2 huge rebounds down the stretch. What does it take for someone who isn't physically gifted in size to have the desire to excel in a situation like that?
I think that's just personal dedication, telling yourself that you know that you're going to do something big and impact the team. And Mariah has a big heart, and she works hard every single day. So you telling me that really doesn't shock me. So.
UCLA women's basketball, a legacy of success, but not the high-profile success of a program like you were at Tennessee and some of the national powers. But it's a new day. It's a new arena. How is this Bruin team going to catapult themselves into that national consciousness? I
think it's like Coach tells us every day, it's an everyday process, and it's one game at a time. But I truly believe that this team is going to do big things that hasn't been seen here before. And if we just continue to grow every day, that we talk about that every day, and we have the mindset that we're going to do something big, then that's going to be accomplished.
Coach, I know part of success for a program is getting visibility. You've got the Pac-12 network now, so a lot of Bruin games are going to be on TV nationally. And I know you've been involved in a lot of marketing efforts to get people involved in UCLA women's basketball, including the Bruin Danas, which have been popping up all over town.
Well, I love it. You know, it's so funny. I was in the nail shop last week, and so two people came in with their Bruin Danas on, and you know, it's been fun to see them really all over town popping up. And I think we are trying to create a Bruin revolution. I sort of stole that from Coach Mora, but you know, for women's basketball, we want to take LA by storm. We want to develop an excitement and a connection that that our fans and the surrounding communities are a part of our wins and a part of our experience. And it's not them coming for entertainment. We need them, and they're a part of everything that we do. So we've been trying to really develop relationships and to see people around town, whether it be out at the Rose Bowl or just around campus or around the surrounding communities. We want to really give back to our fans and include them, and we really think there's a buzz going on that hasn't been there in the past.
Coach, as we look at the Pac-12, the conference is all improved this year. I think everybody's going to be competitive. Tell us what you think the keys are to success in the conference schedule.
Well, I think you're right. The depth of the conference has completely changed, and the Pac-12 network and the exposure that has been created completely changed the ballgame for us in recruiting. To be able to go into a home and say, you know what, you will get more exposure in the Pac-12 for women's basketball than any other conference in the country by a long shot, has enabled everybody to make a huge jump. And so I'm predicting 6 teams in the NCAA tournament minimum, and I really think that's a realistic goal. Could be more, could be less, but I think that's a realistic situation. And I think you are going to see us as the emerging power conference because of the addition of the Pac-12 network, both as exposure and revenue dollars. It has taken us, you know, from a situation where we were hoping to catch up to now leading the pack. And I'm very, very thankful. It's a very exciting time for not just the Bruins, but for the entire Pac-12. And I think that, you know, our keys are going to be defense and rebounding, practically speaking. And our offense will come along, and easier shots will come along from that. It sounds very cliche, but we have a really long team in terms of the back line and our front line. We should be very dominant, but we should be getting higher percentage shots as a result of that. So to the extent that we can control the boards and control defensive stops will allow us to get the ball to easier shots for us on the offensive end. So those are the practical keys for us. And we really do expect to compete at the top this year, and that opportunity is right before us.
Alyssia, Allison mentioned the freshmen that have come in. Lauren Holiday, great defender. Cori can shoot three-pointers from anywhere, and Naira Fields is just jaw-dropping good. It's got to be wonderful to see such talented freshmen who can really play a part in this team's success.
They're a great addition. Each one of them, like you said, brings different things to the team that we all will need. Naira is a great athlete, and I think that she's going to be a great guard in the future for the UCLA Bruins. And then you have Lauren Holiday, great defender. Whenever she was playing, she's out right now, but whenever she was playing, she was getting the most out-of-area rebounds and defending the ball the most. And then you have Cori. She's been great. She's in our first scrimmage against the guys, she was 4 for 4 from the three-point line, and then she did good in the exhibition game. So I think all of them are going to be big impacts, more than, you know, your typical freshman does. So
I don't know, Cori, she's already sounding like a coach.
I know, hire her quick. You know, it's good. She's right on. I mean, our freshmen, I have predicted on several times that they will make the biggest splash in the Pac-12 as a group, and I love that they are so dramatically different. They're dramatically different in their personalities, in their skill sets, but collectively they really make an impact in our team.
UCLA women's basketball just getting underway. We will have every game for you live on UCLABruins.com, video streaming at home, and the games that aren't on the Pac-12 network, and of course a lot of games on the Pac-12 network. So, Coach, Alyssia, thanks for coming in. Looking forward to a great season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll come right back with more Bruin Talk right after this public service announcement.
A trophy can be made just about anywhere. But there's one place where champions are made. UCLA, champions made here.
Hi everybody and welcome back to Bruin Talk. It is now time to honor our Student Athlete of the Week. This week we honor Tabi Love as our Athlete of the Week. In a 4-set win over Arizona State, senior Tabi Love notched her first double-double as a Bruin. She had 24 kills, 11 digs, 2 aces, and 3 blocks to add to her stellar numbers this season. Tabi is ranked 13th nationally in kills per set at 4.55 and 22nd in points per set at 4.94. Among all PAC players, she is 3rd in kills per set and 1st in conference matches only. Congratulations, Tabi, and good luck with the rest of the season. If you would like additional information about UCLA athletics, please visit our website at uclabruins.com.
A couple of moments ago, Coach Close talked about her freshmen and what a splash they're going to make this year. We've got a couple of freshmen with us. They've been making splashes all year. They're water polo players. We're very pleased to be joined by Anthony Daboub and Danny McClintick of the men's water polo team. Welcome to Bruin Talk.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Been a great year so far for water polo, 20-2. Looking forward to tournament play in the MPSF and the NCAAs. But Danny, what's it going to take to get to the top?
You know, it's a long road to the top, and we were super close last year. It's nice to come in right away. We were ranked 2nd this year. But, you know, obviously that last step, Coach Wright always tells us the last step's the biggest one. And so, you know, it's going to take a lot of hard work from everyone, obviously, teamwork, and it's definitely no easy feat.
Anthony, as a freshman coming in here, it's a physical sport. How long did it take you to get adjusted to the pace of college water polo?
I mean, from high school to college, the level of play, the size of everyone, it's a huge jump. And you know, Adam's right, our coach is doing a great job of helping us, me and Danny, like adjust to everything and get used to the whole system. So it's been really nice.
Danny, both of you have made an incredible splash, if you will, this season already, and you're both just freshmen. And you mentioned that you came into a team that was ranked #2 preseason. That's got to give you a lot of confidence going into a season, being a freshman, knowing that you have to step up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you have freshmen that are going to play right away, they expect a lot. But at the same time, the coaches are understanding that it's a new system, and you know, things are a lot different than high school. So there's things that you can't do anymore that work really well in high school, and there's definitely things that you have to adjust to. That's tough, but at the same time, you know, both Coach Wright and Coach Layson are very good. Not to mention the other players at, you know, really helping new guys adjust and help bring new guys into the mix, see where we fit, you know, how can we help, what do we need to work on, and so they've been super good at helping us out with that.
Anthony, as a 2-meter defender, you've got to deny without getting excluded. What's the key to trying to stay in there and get great position, keep the opposing players from turning?
I mean, it's just staying on your legs. High school, the guys are a lot smaller. Now it's a lot more physical, a lot bigger. I've got to worry about a lot more things. But, you know, also what comes with this whole college system is that I have a lot more help on the outside. So as long as I communicate and just stay to the system, I should be successful.
Danny, we talked about Adam Wright, and he's an incredible story. I can't think of one other sport where the coach of a major program also competed in the Olympics. He competed for the USA. He had a great tournament. What was it like watching your coach out there competing for the U.S.?
You know, it's pretty cool to see him out there, you know, playing as you know, representing our country at the biggest stage in sports, and to see, you know, the things that he can do out there is incredible. And I think, you know, that was a big reason that I wanted to come here, is because you know, why not learn from the best? You know, he's been there, he's been through it all. He's had his ups and downs, and obviously he's been very successful in the sport, and you know, he knows how to get through everything. And so you know, who's better to learn from than someone that's been through it all?
Anthony, both of you are Southern California products. What attracted you to UCLA? Why not go farther away? Why not go to the school across town? What made you want to come to UCLA?
Coming here on my recruiting trip, I really felt like a bond to the team. Like, our team chemistry is really close. We have a great group of guys. Also, I'm from Orange County. It's like an hour away. It's nice because I can go back to my family whenever. So that's why I came here.
How about you, Danny?
You know, there's a lot of great schools and a lot of great water polo schools, and obviously UCLA is at the very top in both those categories. Came down to the fact that I love the guys on the team, and I felt really, you know, like I fit in with them on a social level, and that was huge for me, as being part of something, you know, so much more than a team, but being part of a family, and this is where I felt like I was really part of that family.
The MPSF tournament is over at USC. They're #1 in the country. They beat you 7-6 earlier this year, but that was a game that you guys were in a big hole early and made a nice comeback. What is it going to take to beat the Trojans next time?
You know, you can't go down 5-0, and that's a lot easier, you know, said than done. But at the same time, there's no question that we have the talent to do it. You know, we gotta come together. We gotta start better than we did last time, and it's gonna be a battle. And you know, there's no guarantees in sports, and that's a big reason that I think a lot of us play, is because you really never know how it's gonna turn out. And so you know, next time we hope it turns out differently, and we're doing everything we can in practice to make that turn out different.
Anthony, there was another game earlier this year up in Berkeley where the Bruins fell behind a huge hole to Cal. It looked like Cal was going to come away with the win, and UCLA came back and won that one going away. What did that do for the confidence of this team going forward?
You know, it was awesome to go to Cal and beat them in their home, but you know, we can't go down that again. We lucked out that time, but like, we can't ever do that again. Like, going down to SC is a whole nother ball game. They're a really good team, and we need to stay consistent.
Danny, I want to talk to you. We've been talking about water polo, and I want to talk to you about the transition coming into college from high school, socially and academically. I mean, time management is a huge thing for student athletes at any university, but particularly at a school like UCLA, where the academics can be so rigorous. How have you made that transition from high school to college?
I mean, it's definitely been tough. You know, in high school, you can get by with, you know, like, not as much effort in classes, and it's a lot easier. You can focus solely on, you know, sport if that's what you want to do. And here, that's just not possible. So you have to make sure that you're managing your time and you're finding time to study. And, you know, living in dorms is very distracting. There's no one to watch over you, and you're living with all your friends. And so it's definitely been tough, but at the same time, the athletic department does a great job of providing the resources. So, you know, it's really up to you how much. If you want to take advantage of those resources, it's doable. If not, then you know, you're going to find yourself in a pretty tough spot.
The MPSF championships are at USC. The national championships are at USC, so you don't have to leave town. You get a chance to play against the best throughout your non-conference schedule and the conference schedule. The best water polo in the country is out here. When you come around to playing the same team second, third times, does it get chippy in the pool? What's the difference in attitude when you come and face a team you've seen a couple times?
I mean, of course it's going to get chippy. You know, everyone wants to win, and obviously, doesn't need to be said, there's a huge rivalry between us and SC. And so, you know, it's definitely, it makes the sport different than other sports in that scenario, because like, you're playing against teams that you played against 2-3 times. I mean, last year I think we played SC 5 times maybe. So, you know, it's definitely, you're going to win some, hopefully not going to lose some, but it definitely happens. And that's, you know each other really well, so.
Anthony, the Bruin crowds have filled the Speaker Aquatic Center, been noisy, vociferous crowds behind you. With the tournament over across town at USC, how important is it going to be to hear some friendly voices?
You know, I'm kind of excited for the negative comments. I'm excited to be in a place where everyone hates us, and I want to go there and beat them in their own home. You know, I don't think there's a better feeling. So.
When you guys are in your workouts during the week, I'm sure it gets physical in practice, but you know, you're playing against your own teammates. Is there a different level playing in practice against your teammates as opposed to getting out there against the competition?
I mean, to an extent there is, but really, like, we try to play as hard as we do in a game, just because we'll be that much more prepared when the time comes. So there's no better way to be ready for the game than just to be out there being 100% physical and, you know, if everyone does that, it makes a way better practice.
How about mentally? How have the coaches prepared you for this time of year when the games are going to start to mean so much more?
You know, Adam's talked about it from the beginning. He's going to put a lot of pressure on us in training, and that's what we need. We need a lot of pressure. You know, you need to feel it every day so that in the game, when you feel that pressure, it's second nature, and you know how to react to it. Because you know, pressure is definitely something that cripples a lot of great athletes, and so if you can train every day with pressure, then in the game, you know, when you're taking your block to save the game or making the shot that's going to win or tie the game, you know, you've been through that pressure before, and you can do it. So,
Danny, you're talking about the mental part of the game, but I want to talk more about the physical part of the game. Water polo is a sport where half to probably 3/4 of the action happens under the water, where nobody can see what's going on. Tell us a little bit about what actually goes on down there, and how difficult it can be, and how much it can hinder your performance.
You know, it's super physical down there, and there's no question that the refs really can't see a lot of the stuff that's going on down there. But you know, the truth is, you give, you receive. It's a lot of it goes both ways, and if you allow that, you know, to really get in your head, then now you're not thinking about playing the game as much. Now you're thinking about how you're going to get back at the guy that just hit you. So, you know, it's a big part of the game, but at the same time, it has to be, you know, the secondary part of the game, because you can't be constantly thinking about how you're going to, you know, get back at this guy when sometimes, you know, that's going to result in you getting thrown out of the game. So,
Anthony, we're going to talk about the 2-meter position again, because that's where a lot of the frothy action goes on. You have to learn how the officials are going to call the game. I mean, every officiating crew is different. Sometimes they'll let you get away with stuff. Sometimes they'll kick you out on the first contact. How long does it take you to kind of get a feel of how they're blowing the whistles?
Well, you know, it depends with every official, but you try not to leave the game in the officials' hands by, you know, just doing everything that they teach you, that our coaches teach us in practice. Like, you know, keeping my hands up and just not being dumb in there. So
let's talk a little bit about Matt Rapaz. He's had a great year in the cage for UCLA. It's got to be nice knowing that he's got your back.
Well, it's so nice having Rapaz. You know, he saved us in the Cal game. He had a great game. SC, even though we lost by 1, he had a great game. And you know, he's really been a leader for us. Being a 5th-year senior, you know, he had an injury earlier in his career, and, you know, he's been to a few NC2A finals, and he's ready. We're all ready. So obviously, like, they haven't been successful in the past, but I think, like, we're ready to go, and he's a big part of it.
Well, we hope that you score a lot in the upcoming tournament. Good luck to you in the MPSF and on to the NCAAs.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for joining us on UCLA Bruin Talk. We look forward to seeing you next time. Alyssia and I will be back for another great show. For Alice and Taylor and our entire resTV crew, I'm Dave Marcus saying so long from Westwood. We'll see you next time.